Palma. Oh,
Oh, man.
pass. That's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game.
To Del Fuentes.
Oh, wow.
Delgado takes the shot and knocks it down. Valoria is open. 3-pointer. Oh my goodness! Face a jumper by Robin Celis. Caballero has time. Now it gets Martin Rosso. Turnaround jumper. Oh my goodness!
We once again hit the ground running here in the 7th season of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, and for the very first time this season, we are here at the San Andres Sports Complex in the city of Manila, and Orlan Omar has certainly established himself as one of the best, if not the best, point guard here in the league today, and Jan Formento trying to follow in his footsteps and has made some noise this season for the Val City Magic. They will take on the San Juan Knights in our first game, followed by the Davao Occidental Tigers kalaban ang Pangasinan Heatwaves, and for our third game, Pasig City will take on the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters. Magandang hapon mga kaliga. Ken Pangilinan alongside Javi Palanya, and at courtside we have Miss Mika Abisamis. And Javi, whatever magic Val City had in the first couple of weeks ng season natin, it has quickly evaporated, and now they face a daunting task taking on the San Juan Knights.
You're right. You know, they came in with a very formidable lineup. Lots of guys that can really contribute. But now they have to deal with the loss of Louis Vigil. At ngayon rin, they are coming into this game with JR Alabanza not suited up para sa kanila. They have to find a way for others to contribute. I feel like guys like Lester Alvarez and John Umali has to have a more integral part in contributing to their offense if they want to generate more wins this season.
And that leaves a gaping hole in the middle para dito sa Val City Magic. And of course, you're watching us on Facebook and on YouTube. And now, Javi, balikan natin yung mga kaganapan. Last Saturday, we were in Lucena City at the Quezon Convention Center. And once again, Quezon was able to defend their home court against Ilagan. Actually, they were able to bounce back from that tough loss against Pampanga. Then Muntinlupa, Nueva Ecija taking care of business in their games respectively here.
Well, puro blowout yung nangyari dito sa Quezon Convention Center, no? But I think that last game against Ilagan, everybody was expecting it to be closer. But the Quezon Huskers obviously venting their ire from that last loss that they had on their home floor against the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, a game that many people thought, especially the people of Quezon, that the Huskers would be able to win. Makabawi nga sila from that national championship last year.
And a lot of emotions in that game, and things got physical a bit in that particular matchup. But ngayon, tignan natin ang ating team standings. Brand new week, but a lot of shake-up here, especially still up top, no? Zamboanga, they won against Pampanga. That was a big win, Javi. But Binyan getting a win, and itong Jensan and Basilan just lurking dito sa ating top 8 in the standings, Javi.
And Muntinlupa, they continue to cement their spot at the top of the Southern Division team standings by being a very consistent squad. They're a very well-coached team even without their head coach. Coach Mark Dandan has really been holding the fort para sa kanila dun sa Muntinlupa Cagers.
And for the South, you know, the surprising thing here is Pampanga last week, back-to-back losses but still at number 4. But that opens up yung mga Pangasinan, we'll see later on, Caloocan, Pasay, na pwede pa silang umangat dito, Javi.
Pangasinan is trying to get a rhythm once again, no? Marami silang nakakalaban dito sa gitna ng ating team standings in the Northern Division. Pasay, Ilagan, even Bataan is still trying to creep up into the upper echelon of the team standings here. Pasig City has been showing some promise. They will be seeing action later on against Batangas City. They hope that they could get an upset later to go to 500.
And Nueva Ecija remains the lone undefeated team so far in our league. And now, we'll talk about one of the teams na tinalo ng Nueva Ecija, itong San Juan. And they bounced back from that very loss against the Rice Vanguards against Bacolod. They led by as many as 20 points here, Javi. Never trailed. Pero medyo nakahabol itong Bacolod. They got tested a bit here, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, they were outscored 18-30. Pero buti na lang malaki yung na i-establish nila na kalamangan early on, and that's why they were able to hold on to this victory. A team that doesn't really shoot a lot of threes, but when they are on fire from the outside, they are definitely very capable of launching those shots from downtown. 10 out of 29 from that area, and they also ran Bacolod to the ground 24-10, even if they were the older team compared to the Tubos Slashers, who are a much younger squad. And the bench has really been a vital cog para kay Coach Alex Angeles this season. Different guys stepping up at different opportunities, and that's been the success of the San Juan Knights this season. It's because anybody can step up at any given time.
And San Juan trying to keep up with Abra and Nueva Ecija up top, and they will take on the Val City Magic. While San Juan, they led by as many as 20 points. Itong Val City naman, in their last matchup, ito mahirap na pagsubok na pinagdaanan nila against Quezon. They had a poor start in this game, and they trailed by as many as 20 points, and 20 points din yung naging lamang sa final score natin, Javi.
This has been their 5th straight loss. The last time they've won was last April 9 against Gensan. That was a 5-point victory, but every loss after that has been by at least 9 points. With their last 3 losses, at least 18 points. Imus Rizal and Quezon. In this game against the Huskers, everything was just really in the favor of Quezon. They dominated in this game early. In Val City, they haven't really showed resilience coming back from a double-digit deficit to make a game out of it, except for that particular game against the Basila Viva Port Masters, where they stretched that into overtime. But other than that, there has been no sign of Val City coming back from a huge deficit.
All right, it's Val City taking on San Juan in our opening game. Let's go to Richard Campos as he introduces the Tarning Styles.
Welcome to our first match, San Juan Knights versus Val City, Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. First up, the starting 5 for the Season 2 champions, San Juan Knights. At guard number 0, Sean Jackson. At forward number 15, Arvin Gamboa. Point guard number 13, Royce Alforque. At forward number 7, Ron Dennison. Playing center number 2, Mike Calisan. The head coach is Alex Angeles. Assistant coaches, Jonathan Banal, RB Mangahas, James Ongbin, Nat Gregorio, Paulo Gorospe, Jigs Quadamore, and PJ Maningan. Team consultants, the scholar Philip Cesar and Bongding Lasan. Team manager Jun Usman, the team owner Senator Jinggoy Estrada. The starters for Val City Magic. At forward number 39, Kobe Monje. Point guard number 22, Lester Alvarez. Power forward number 13, J.R. Ongteco. At guard number 3, Jan Formento. Coming in at center number 1, Kyle Napes. The head coach is Raymond Valenzuela. His assistants are Matthew Sia, Jubin Ledesma, Errol Francisco, and Ian De La Torre. Assistant team manager JB Garcia. Team representative Brian Galantok. Referees for this ball game.
Starting 5 brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory, feel more game. With 1xBet, battle of 2 teams from the north. San Juan starts off with Royce Alforque, Sean Jackson, Mike Calisaan, Ron Dennison, and Arvin Gamboa. For Val City, Lester Alvarez, Jan Formento, Kyle Napes, J.R. Ongteco, and Kobe Monje. Referees for this ball game, Sev Pingol, Mark Raduedo, Arsenio Pacle, and fourth man is Hali Demikov.
Arvin Gamboa stepping into the starting lineup for Dexter Maiquez, while Valenzuela, interestingly enough, will be starting both of their point guards, which is a position that they do not really have a lot of players to field in for. They're starting both Lester Alvarez and Jan Formento at the same time. So I don't know how Coach Raymond Valenzuela will be figuring out his rotation at that spot, but they're gonna need all hands on deck, especially at that spot.
And Lester Alvarez starting for JJ Hesalem at that 2 spot. Sean Jackson, another start, but he turns the ball over. Steal by Kobe Monje. Jan Formento powering through, gets it back, kissing it off the glass and in for the first 2 points for Val City.
You mentioned at the top of the coverage, Ken, how Orlando Mamar has cemented himself as one of the best point guards, if not the best point guard here in the league. Jan Formento is definitely well on his way to becoming someone of Orlando Mamar's caliber here in the MPBL.
And one of the leading scorers in our league so far, Jan Formento, averaging close to 18 points per contest.
Remember, this guy was the guy responsible for Valenzuela stretching that game against Basilan into extra period. He was phenomenal in that game, a one-man wrecking crew. The nice thing about Jan Formento is he can really do it all. He can score the basketball, he can pass the rock, and he's a multi-level scorer, meaning he can attack from different ways.
This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. And you touch on that, Javi. That was actually, as we see Senator Jinggoy Estrada, yung binanggit mong laban sa Basilan, yun yung naging introduction niya, no? In terms of him being one of the guys na dapat tutukan ngayon dito sa Val City.
Dahil di naman siya bagong player dito sa liga na to, but this is the first time that he's had this kind of opportunity to really showcase his talent. He played for Bataan before but never really had this kind of exposure that he's getting with in Valenzuela.
And pinakita na rin niya that certainly no fluke yung performance niya against Basilan, because he followed that up with multiple impressive performances. In fact, has scored at least 20 points in 6 games. And now he's well on his way, scoring the first 2 field goals para dito sa Val City.
Right on cue. Nice backdoor cut galing kay Jan Formento, but the impressive thing was yung finish. Ang ganda nung reverse na pinakita ni Jan Formento, leaning away from the defense and getting on the other side of the basket. I'm sure we're gonna see that again.
May Kalisaan, siya na may leading scorer para dito sa San Juan. But ito, tignan natin yung Grixer great move the game, born for greatness.
A little misdirection play that involved both Lester Alvarez and Formento. And Formento making that well-timed cut to the baseline to get himself available for the pass and the finish.
Kalisaan up top against Kyle Napes. Alforque. Kick out pass. Sean Jackson from the corner. Hindi kinuha ni Kyle Napes yung rebound, but he was able to intercept that pass.
Jackson's been getting a lot of opportunities to start this season, but he hasn't really showed us a quality game. So, remains to be seen how well he can play in this league, but I'm sure he's a talent that Coach Alex Angeles wants to see develop and flourish.
Evident naman yung athleticism. In fact, siya pa yung pinatatalo nila sa jump ball. He goes for those loose balls. You're right. In terms of overall impact, medyo suspect pa ito si Sean Jackson, but still a long season for San Juan. Kyle Napes able to score underneath.
Without J.R. Labanza this afternoon, Kyle Napes has to have more than his average production in both points and rebounds, as we see that 3-point shot by Ron Denison.
6-4 is the score. 7 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Val City with a 2-point lead. Jer Ongteco against Mike Kalisaan. The cut by Kobe Monje using his left hand for the finish.
Now, we've been talking about development a lot already in this game with Jan Formento, and then we mentioned Sean Jackson, how Coach Alex Angeles wants him to flourish. Well, the development of Kobe Monje has certainly been fantastic para dito sa Valenzuela. Second leading scorer for them this season.
Pabandang tira, pumasok para kay Royce Alforque. 8-6 Val City. 6 and 15 left. Kobe Monje trying to put the moves against Mike Calisaan. Formento again able to cut back door for the reverse.
Wow, all of his baskets have been on reverse finishes in this game. John Formento not even bothered the slightest.
And inserting Lester Alvarez has enabled John Formento to really use his off-ball game.
Yes, that's correct. And it's really been boding well para sa kanila.
Ito nga yung ating assist of the game. Hatid sa atin yan ng 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Well, if John Formento's been scoring, guess who's been dishing? That pass was once again delivered by J.R. Ongteco from beyond the arc. He's been setting up John Formento nicely on those backdoor plays.
Enter Jinggoy and Coach Raymond Valenzuela. 10-6 Val City. Much better start compared to their previous game against Quezon. Lester Alvarez. Laban kay Butch Gamboa. Muntik na siya maagawan but able to recover the basketball. At bumagsak siya while he tried for the layup but foul will be called against San Juan.
Now, Lester Alvarez may be already up there in terms of age, around mid-30s, going up against a much younger guy in Arvin Gamboa, but definitely the IQ is still there and the touch and feel for the game. Mauutakan at mauutakan ka pa rin talaga nito ni Lester Alvarez.
Season 1 champion Lester Alvarez with Batangas City under Coach Mactan. And actually played high school din pala, no, in Letran before moving to Adamson University. We knew him more with his stint with Adamson, with those clutch shots that he had.
Boy, he broke so many hearts in the UAAP when he was with the Soaring Falcons. And that was quite the team that they had. Perennial Final Four squad.
Yeah. Kung magpapahinga muna siya dito, in comes JJ Hesalem. Mike Calisaan way off the mark on that jumper. Now it's Formento playing the point.
I expect John Formento to play most of this game. I think he'll at least play 30 minutes in this game. That's definitely a moving screen, extension of the arm.
Jerome Teco thought it was a flop.
No way that was gonna be a flop. Ganda na sana ng naging execution dito ng Valenzuela. In fact, they've been doing so well in the half-court set for the most part of this start of the first quarter. Just that moving screen. This allowed Valenzuela to extend this 5-point advantage.
Past the halfway point of quarter number 1, Val City shooting 5 out of 9 from the field while San Juan just 2 of 7. Alforque leans in for the back shot.
Ito talaga yung naging profile ng mga gwardyang kinukuha ng San Juan, no? Through the years. You have to be a guy who can facilitate but at the same time can also score. And Royce Alforque is definitely a fit to that role.
So big point guard, Royce Alforque. 3.4 seconds sa shot clock ng Val City. Formento will trigger it from the baseline. Monje flashes out, takes that three, no good. Rebound by Mike Calisaan. Alforque pushing it, drives left, gets past Hesalem, but that crawls out. But Gamboa able to get it back for the Knights. The spin up and under Calisaan, no good.
That's good honest defense by J. Ongteco, just keeping his hands up, not fouling Mike Calisaan na nakulangan lang ng konting pektos dun sa tira.
Ongteco in trouble. Release pass to Formento, who resets their offense. 6 on their shot clock. Formento. That was actually a good cut by Hesalem, but the pass a bit off target. Denison on the other side. Lost it. Ball will stay with San Juan.
Some sloppy play by these two teams the past couple of possessions. J. Ongteco was doubled already once he got that ball on top on that sort of flex action that Valenzuela has been running. That's why naubusan sila ng oras dun sa shot clock, and John Formento had to improvise with a ball screen.
We have an early coach's challenge requested by Coach Raymond Valenzuela. With 3 minutes and 31 seconds left, we'll pause for a break. We'll be back for the result.
The challenge made by Val City Magic is successful.
Successful challenge from Coach Raymond.
That's a good call. Because usually the past few games that we've had, the common trend is that coaches use their challenges late in the games, especially because we've had a lot of close games lately. But Coach Raymond Valenzuela using it early here to have his team gain another possession.
Salim. Wamar is in for the Knights, as well as AC, who immediately fires a free but can't get it to go. Kalisaan, wala pa din. At mayroong foul na itatawag laban sa San Juan.
Well, Kalisan's been off target near the basket this afternoon. Most of his shots, actually all of his field goal attempts, have come from up close, but all have been misses.
Although Mike Kalisan has scored in double figures in all of their 11 games so far. Yung last 2 games niya medyo struggling siya, no? 10.5 points in his last 2.
Yeah, you know, if I'm Coach Alex Angles, I'm not gonna be worried that hindi pa naman nakakapuntos mula sa field si Mike Kalisan, because Kalisan can contribute in so many other ways, and I have a bevy of talent to rely on other than Mike Kalisan.
Like this guy, and this guy as well, who has been shooting much better lately. Ito si AC Soberano.
It was good that Valenzuela was able to start off well, because that's really been the problem para sa kanila lately. They haven't been able to start off strong. But now that these two guys are in, Orlan Mamar and AC Soberano, expect the Knights to put on some scoring runs heavily here as we try to finish this first quarter.
Castillo to Guarino. Short on that 20-footer. Wamar gets it from Marquez. Now it's Criniel Viloya just inside the arc. That is good.
The vision of Orlan Mamar, especially in transition, just spectacular. It's so impressive how he's able to see the basket and see the entire floor and his teammates coming down. Even if he's not looking, yung peripheral vision niya matindi.
Salem still missing from the outside, but a lucky break for Val City. As now we check out the 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
The leading assist man in the MPBL, delivering that pass to AC Soberano, who's always ready to shoot. Meanwhile, Valenzuela has missed their last 4 shots. Make that 5, yeah.
And to make matters worse, a foul called on the Magic. 14 foul against Val City. A minute and 26 remaining here in the first period. Bit of a low-scoring duel so far. Rinit Hugnatan, nasa loob na for the Knights. Wamar, long three-pointer, that is in.
It didn't take too long for the Knights to find their rhythm offensively here in the first quarter. Just some struggles to start in the first few minutes, but as soon as the shots kept falling, nagtuloy-tuloy na para sa kupunan ni Senator Jinggoy Estrada.
San Juan now on the midst of an 8-0 run. Guarino lost it. Tatakbo ang San Juan. Orlan Wamar. The trail job by Marquez. The pass to Viloria. No good. Hugnatan with the rebound. Viloria gets it from Soberano. He's now on the right side. Now the switch. The spin. Viloria off the glass and in.
Beautiful move by Cranial Viloria. What a nice acquisition by San Juan this season. Further increasing their depth at the wing spot with Cranial Viloria.
But a 2-second differential in shot and game clock. San Juan in penalty. Kimlo using that pick, but met by a bevy of San Juan Knights there. And that's gonna do it here in quarter number 1. Val City made the most, especially in the first part of the first quarter, but San Juan with a strong finishing kick here, Javi.
Valenzuela opened up with some new sets right here, kaya medyo nabulaga yung depensa ng San Juan Knights. They didn't figure out how to stop those passes of J.R. Ongteco to John Formento. Those accounted for 3 field goals para kay John Formento in the opening minutes, but as soon as the bench came in, especially para dito sa San Juan Knights, the shots started to fall and they've been unstoppable so far.
At the end of quarter number 1, San Juan with a lead 18-11 over Val City.
Back at the San Andres Sports Complex for your Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. My name is Mika Abesamis. Let me take you through like a little timeline of how the San Juan Knights are doing the past weeks, talking about that big loss against the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards and that win against the Tubo Slashers, but only by 6 points. I asked Coach Alex Angeles, how are you guys mentally and physically? He said, we realized so many things after that Nueva game, mostly small things that could have been huge in the end. They reacted too much on errors, nagpalit agad ng rules on the fly, they were dwelling too much on the 3-point shooting of the Rice Vanguards, when in the end they only ended with 4. So they need to stick to the plan and lessen the emotions. Moreover, they had a big lead against the Tubo Slashers, got a bit confident, changed their men on the floor, and ended winning by only 6. Lesson, according to Coach Alex Angeles, be humble in defeat. Ken and Javi.
Thank you very much, Mika. And that was a pretty much a learning experience para kila Coach Alex and San Juan in that loss against Nueva Ecija. But even before that loss against the Rice Vanguards, Javi, medyo napapansin na rin natin yung mga panalo nila. Say, the very first win that they had against Cebu, that was only by 2 points. Against Mindoro, only by 5. So, nananalo nga sila. They won their first 10 games. But yung separation, no, in terms of yung being convincing in their wins, medyo far in between eh.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a lot of blowout wins by the Knights this season. In fact, I think their biggest win was against Bataan. That was a 15-point game, 82-67. But all of those games have been decided by 10 points or less.
LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL.
One thing that I would like maybe to add to what Coach Alex Angeles might have wanted to say to his team, I think more than being humble in defeat, as we see that 3-point shot by AC Soberano, it's also to avoid being complacent, especially in the latter moments of the game where even if they've established a big lead, they have to realize that all the teams here in the MPBL will try their best to always be competitive no matter who they face in each game. So expect that teams will try to go for a run late in the games no matter how big of a lead they have.
And it's up to them, especially meron din times na like for say Nueva Ecija, that big stretch in the fourth quarter where they hit those threes, tapos nagbago na nga yung kumbaga nag-deviate sila sa game plan nila during that game, and really even though dumikit sila until the early of the fourth quarter, dun makikita yung game execution, especially nakikita natin, Javi, meron ding mga bagong piyesa kasi itong San Juan eh. Royce Alforque, Joe M. Sabandal, you mentioned earlier, Cranial Viloria. So, you know, the core is still there, but people forget na ang dami din kailangang i-mix and match ni Coach Alex moving forward.
Because many people, I think, they always expect San Juan to be a powerhouse team. They have always been a perennial playoff squad who goes really deep, and you expect them to go all the way into the Northern Division Finals and eventually into the National Championship. So, ina-expect ng mga tao na kahit sino ilagay nila dyan, eh maganda ang ipapakita ng San Juan. Well, maganda ang naging simula nila, and you know, they are 10-1 right now. They've had spectacular performances, but a win is a win, and for sure, but by Coach Alex Angeles, I think he just wants his team to keep developing and developing, to have that killer instinct.
How about this guy already? 3 3-pointers. AC Soberano struggled out of the gate for the Knights, but has found his groove lately for San Juan, and he has pushed this lead up to 14 points, 25-11. We'll pause for a break. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan a QR code and claim your special offer. Back with us here at the San Andres Sports Complex in Manila. John Formento. Good start as usual for Val City. But maganda yung pagtugon dito ng San Juan because they are in the midst of a 19-0 run, while Val City has been held scoreless for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
I think more than Ken.
But may pa, no? The last basket of Val City was way, way back as Kyle Napes missing on that jump shot.
If it's not a missed shot, it's a turnover. That's been the story for Valenzuela after that strong start, single-handedly by John Formento.
You're right, Javi. Almost 8 minutes scoreless itong Val City.
That's just too long. They really have been reeling from the absence of a guy like Louis Vigil, and of course J.R. Labanza, who's not suited up in this game. That's a hard hit on Orlan Mamar.
Mr. Alvarez. He in fact scored the last basket of Val City at the 5-minute and 12-second mark of quarter number 1. So ganun katagal na po walang puntos itong Val City. Omar is up after that hard hit. Lester Alvarez immediately apologizing to Orlan. And Formento also looking at Orlan here. But we resume action. Baseline inbound para dito sa mga nakaputi. San Juan. Renan Hugnatan. Backdoor. Dexter Marquez. Wala. The follow-up does not work. Rebound finally controlled by Kim Lo. Alvarez will set the table for the Magic. Kim Lo. Formento on the left side against Cranial Viloria. Napes. Foul will be called against Marquez.
I'm sure what is on Coach Raymond Valenzuela's mind right now is he's hoping that this combination that he started with in the backcourt would hopefully bring them back to generating offense, because it's been just too long without them scoring a basket here.
And that has been the problem for Val City, especially in the last 4 games, as finally, after more than 8 minutes, Kim Lo burying a free from the right corner. 25, actually long 2. So it's 25-13. Viloria trying to get past Kim Lo. Marquez lumapit. That shot will not work for Dexter Marquez. Rebound ends up with Val City. Kimlo up top against AC Soberano. Ongteco binalik palabas kay Lester Alvarez laban kay Joem sa bandal. 9 seconds sa kanilang shot clock. Kyle Napes. Now it's Kimlo. Nothing really happening sa opensiba ng Val City, and Kyle Napes missing on that one-hander. Sa bandal, the lift and the shot by Hugnatan knocks that one down.
Nobody rotating to a trailing Reynel Hugnatan. Everybody just went back. They were on time. They were able to stop a transition attack. But when you leave a guy like Reynel Hugnatan open, expect him to knock it down.
Napes scoots it over to John Formento. Foul called on San Juan.
Formento's gonna have to start weaving his magic para dito sa Valenzuela right now.
3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
We've talked about it during the pregame, how Valenzuela has never really been able to recover from a double-digit deficit once they are already in it, except for that game against Basilan. So to avoid that kind of slippage again here, well, they had a good start in this game, pero wala na tayong magagawa. They are down right now by 15 points. Formento, together maybe with Alvarez and Kobe Monje, as well as Kyle Napes, they all have to chip in here for them to avoid a 6th straight loss and maybe another blowout.
Hugnatan at the post. Going up against Jer Ongteco, cross court. Soberano continues to shoot hot and firing from the outside.
He's one of the streakiest shooters that we have here in the MPBL. From his days with San Beda in the NCAA to his pro career here sa Liga ng Bawat Pilipino, AC Soberano has really been one of the wiliest snipers from the outside. Nice answer there by Kyle Napes. Valenzuela needs some stops.
Only the first 3-point conversion by Val City in this game. Marquez, no good. Gets it back. Nilabas kay Reynel Hugnatan. Laban kay Kyle Napes. The cut by Denison. Flips it up, but that shot won't go in. Alvarez surveying the floor. Guys in red down by 14. Already past the halfway point of the second period. Ongteco. That's a good move, but can't finish. Sa bandal. Puts his head down. Oh, great pass. Great setup job. And Denison scores.
They were practically playing 4 on 5 there. Ongteco did not even bother to go down after that miss.
And that slight hesi by John sa bandal. Giving that opportunity to Ron Denison. They go at the post. Val City. Kobe Monje. Before that shot, foul called on AC Soberano. As now, we check out the fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Pop. Personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke. Denison with 2 points. Baseline inbound for Val City. Formento, 10 on their shot clock. Formento the crossover behind the back. Trying to get past Denison, but Ron Denison clamping him down.
Oh, that should have been a travel.
Backdoor, Sean Jackson scores.
John O'Malley just came in fresh off the bench. Did not even realize that Jackson was already making a cut to the baseline, getting himself his first basket of this game.
Lead is now at 18 points. San Juan now 29-6 run they're currently into. Kobe Monje.
Yep, that's a flop. Definitely a flop.
Yeah. And ito, ang ating play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory, feel more game with 1xBet.
missed defensive coverage there by John O'Malley, enabling Jackson to get himself wide open underneath the basket. And Reynald Hugnatan is trying to converse with referee Seb Pingol na dapat hindi naman foul, dapat hindi flopping, dapat offensive foul. But from where we were watching it, it really looked like it because there was not much force given by Kobe Monhe on that separation attempt.
And now we await the result of this challenge. We'll be back after the short break.
The challenge made by San Juan Knights was unsuccessful.
Unsuccessful challenge by Coach Alex Angeles. We'll have another look of this one.
See here, they're arguing that there was an extension. Pero kasi, even before the extension, pahulog na siya eh.
Yeah. Was leaning the other way already. As if anticipating na, no?
Yeah. And that was really the reason why it was called a technical. Formento wants one more free throw?
Oh? Teka.
No, it should be just one free throw.
Oo nga. Teka lang. Teka lang, teka lang. Gutom pa siguro. Sabay-sabay tayo kumain mamaya. 3 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Jan Formento now at the post, steps back.
That's a
Great
tough
defense by Joem Sabandal. Ron Denison gets it to Reynel Hugnatan. Sabandal getting some burn here in the second quarter. Now he fires from the outside. And Kyle Napes snags down that miss. Lester Alvarez, the show by Hugnatan. Kyle Napes, sasalaksak, floats it up, wala pa din.
Yeah, he should have taken it hard to the basket. Not really much defense in front of him. He opted to go for that push shot and leaning away from the basket.
Sabandal, bounce pass to Ubalde. And Umali able to telegraph that pass. Kobe Monhe. Ngayon, walang alinlangan pinukol ni Kyle Napes, but that shot will not fall in. 35-18. The struggles of Val City continue, down by a huge margin.
Yeah, they're just making a lot of horrible decisions too offensively.
Sabandal finally buries a triple. And Coach Raymond Valenzuela has seen enough.
Usually, basketball, just really very simple. You give it to the guy who's most open, and that time it was Joem Sabandal. Valenzuela has not been doing that. They've been forcing a lot of shots here in the first half.
San Juan extends the lead to 20, 38-18. Next 3 games of Val City on June 2 versus Bacolod Tubo Slashers. On the 6th against Pasig City on June 10. Kalaban naman nila ang Pasay Voyagers. And now, we're having a really tough time scoring here. They've only had 7 make that 9 points since the 5-minute and 12 mark of quarter number 1, and that shot is good by John Umali.
Yeah, that's been the common theme for them this year. You know, most games have really been a struggle to generate points, especially they don't really try and run out in transition. They opt to go into their half-court set and set it up in their front court, but really they haven't been successful in that arena.
Joseph Ubalde scoring 2 points for San Juan. It's now 40-20. Ubalde gets the steal, crossover. Oh, look out! Ubalde the pass. But Jackson able to recover. Sa bandal, bounce pass inside. Ubalde reverse, nasupalpal ni John Umali.
We were robbed of a Ubalde highlight reel opportunity. Back-to-back play sana yun.
Si Sentuloy medyo napasimangot dun. 25 seconds remaining. Kyle Napes still firing blanks from the outside. And last shot time for the Knights.
Valenzuela only had 18 made field goals in that game against Quezon. They only have 8 right now at 28 attempts.
Joem, nilabas, papunta kay Ron Denison. Another three-pointer converted by San Juan.
It's another day in the office for the Knights here in the first half. Hitting it in stride, inside, outside, doesn't matter.
And what a run by the Knights. They had that 19-0 blast in the second quarter. Ignited here by AC Soberano. And already 4 triples for the former San Beda Red Lion. And finding the mark. And has been shooting lights out, especially in the last 6 games, including this one at the half. San Juan with a 23-point lead over Val City, 43-20.
Is annihilating Oscar De La Hoyas. That is the most spectacular one-punch set of Manny Pacquiao's incredible career. And he fights his way off and goes down again. Straight left lands for Manny. Does he have Cotto in trouble? Manny Pacquiao is a storm. Huge left hand by Pacquiao. Punch after punch after punch. And he finds the straight left hand. And there's the punching down. Look at the brilliant accuracy of Manny Pacquiao. Landing with both right and left hands. This is why we use the word sensation.
Back at the San Andres Sports Complex for your Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. My name is Mika Abesamis and right now I am joined by Justin Alfonso of the Val City Magic. Magandang hapon. Siyempre pag ganito kalakas yung kalaban, kailangan ng suportahan. Ano? Paano nyo ba binibigyan ng kumpiyansa yung isa't isa?
I think we just try to support each other on the bench. You know, if we make a good play against a really good team like this, we try to cheer each other up. And then in practice, we just try to prepare honestly and just come in the game and try to execute whatever the coaches tell us to do.
All right, but take me through a little of how it is in the dugout. Like, how are you guys as a team? How is the chemistry?
We try to keep it loose, you know, we try to have fun in there. We try to support each other. If someone makes, you know, a good shot or, you know, a great play, we just try to, you know, cheer them on and try to keep telling them to keep doing their thing.
That's great. Is there anyone you want to greet?
We just want to greet Pure Blends, Sure Homes Realty, YPS Clothing Trading, Anytime Fitness, Fatima Valenzuela, Accredited Wellness and Pain Clinic, DCG Steel, si Boss Den, Ma'am Annie, Ever Gourmet Corporation, Pablings, Fatima Valenzuela Brand, Shoebest, VA Sports, Perez Pares Valenzuela, si Ma'am Daisy, Frame Manila, and Unlimited Coffee.
Maraming salamat once again, Justin Alfonso of the Val City Magic. Magbabalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
Right now, it seems like every extra possession is going to the side of Pangasinan, and they convert. The Heat Waves up by 11, and this has been a collective effort.
On the second chance opportunity, an off-ball movement. Hockey assist by Gabo, who got the offensive rebound. Direct assist for Talio to Flores. 11-point lead.
Only fitting that he leads this team in the MPBL. Comboy on the run. Adlawan. Oh, access denied!
Wow! Oh my goodness.
Cebu Classic defense on point.
What a way to swat that shot away.
Couple of layups para kay Eman Calo. Thought it was a goaltend there. Lastimosa with a tough drive.
Sometimes you got players na talagang mas gusto pa yung may bunggo. And si Carlo ang isa na doon. It's been pretty much the rebounding action, allowing for second chance opportunities.
63 to 68, baseline inbound for Basilan. Cabagnol from the corner. Big shot from the crunch man. It's a 2-point game. Anxious moments here for Binyan, but what a play from Coach Rich Alvarez to free up the crunch man for the corner three.
Well, you gotta credit Eman Calo for that perfect pass. Just on that catch and shoot motion for Alex Cabagnot. They've had, what, 5 in succession ba? Kasi si Val Chao ka, nakaisa rin kanina.
Oh, Jeff Comia, binitbit muna ang bola bago tinapos sa kabila. What a move from Jeff Comia.
2 points yun, pero mukhang 3 points sa effort no? Grabe yung finish na yun ni Jeff Comia. Just a master in dribble penetrations.
Wow. Taking the lead here, 42 to 40, under a minute to play. Wamar against Macaloni now. Wamar is ahead. Wamar floats. What a shot.
Now they go for the switch. Malaking yung big man ang kumuha, no? Kay Orlan Wamar was able to beat Macaloni. But how about that
That's
finger roll?
Steph Curry-esque.
Montuano, balik kay Robbie Manalang. 8 seconds sa kanilang shot clock. Robbie trying to turn the corner. Forces up a free. Oh, banks it in! Robbie Manalang under the rest. Able to will that one through.
My goodness. I was gonna say, nasa isip ko na rin yung sasabihin ko. I was gonna say, what a terrible take by Robbie Manalang. Answered the call the past few games, including this one. Tampos gets ahead. Tampos hangs in the air and gets the bucket. The hoop and the harm para kay Boom Boom Tampos.
Oh my goodness, Javi. The elevation, the finish through contact.
Defying the laws of physics, Boom Boom Tampos featured in our play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet. I will absolutely feel more game if I see more shots like that from Boom Boom Tampos.
Sagwan unable to capitalize on that steal. Pero here comes Nueva Ecija. The spin cycle and the finish. The former MVP, JC Marcelino. You know what? This is too big of a game for JC Marcelino not to make an impact.
Because we heard the oohs and ahs even before the shot. Doon sa spin move pa lang, narinig mo na sa crowd.
Only have one timeout here in overtime. Wala nang timeout ng Pasig. Garcia having trouble. Gets it to Lester Reyes. Robbie Manalang attacks. Kick out pass. Jaime against two defenders. Getting that shot up and in. 23 points for Papa Cheats.
He has defied the defense numerous times in this game. Tough shot after tough shot. I thought Manalang would have been better off here trying to go inside into the basket, trying to sneak his way past that help defender. I thought he could have scooped a shot in on that left side, but still giving it to that deep corner kay Chito Jaime.
Our halftime score, 43 for the San Juan Knights and only 20 points put up by Val City Magic in the first two quarters. And medyo may promise naman yung Val City in the first quarter because they were up 5 points, 11-6. But things went 180 from then because San Juan with a 19-0 run, and they have pushed this lead up to their biggest here so far at 23 points.
Coming into the season, talagang hindi lang medyo pero may promise talaga itong Valenzuela, but their games this season have really been just all about that, but they haven't been able to fulfill it. Whatever magic that they've had in their wins, they have not been able to weave it in most of their matches this season, and it's mainly because of the difficulty of generating offense because they opt more to score in their half court where they haven't been very successful at. They're only shooting 8 out of 30 from the field in this game. They only made 18 field goals in the whole game against the Quezon Huskers in their last matchup. And here, if they don't do something about it come the second half, this lead will balloon even further. They're already down by 23 at this point.
AC Soberano so far with 12 points, 4 3-pointers. And AC has been playing more solidly para dito sa San Juan. More on that later. But he's the leading scorer so far for them with 12 points. 8 puntos for Ron Denison, 4 points each for Cranial Viloria and Royce Alforque. And the Knights just asserting their dominance so far. Jan Formento as usual leading the way for the Magic with 8 points. Kyle Napes with 5 and 2 points apiece for Kobe Monhe and John O'Malley. And you saw in the graphic earlier, the fast break points, wala pa ang Val City. They're actually dead last in that department. Only 9.8 fast break points.
Yeah, well, San Juan is in the middle of the pack in that department. In terms of three-point shooting, the Knights already had 8 in the first 2 quarters alone. They had 10 in total against Bacolod. Not really the type to have a lot of three-point shots made this season, despite the shooters that they have, especially with AC Soberano there. But once they start going from the outside, they do have the capability to be a team that can make 10 to 15 three-point shots in a game. Just And there you go, right on cue, Joem Sabandal adding to his total. That's his second 3 in this game.
So already a total of 10 frees for the San Juan Knights. 10 out of 19 to be exact. Only 1 out of 12 for Val City. Make that 1 out of 13 as Jer Ogteco missing on that try. Arvin Gamboa going right at Jer Ogteco, but he traveled.
Medyo nanggigil siya doon. I think he saw that there wasn't really a rim protector to try and stop him when he was gonna try and attempt to drive inside. Just had some problem with the footwork there. But Arvin Gamboa this season, many of our analysts have talked about it this year, how he really has improved dramatically.
Oh yeah. Coach Christian was raving about him when we covered Val City's game last time out against Quezon, yeah. The way he's been able to handle the rock better this season, shot creation.
Kasi with his height, ang dami niyang pwedeng gawin. You know, he's not the most athletic guy, but he does possess some athleticism. And you're right, the ability to handle the basketball, the improved ability to handle the rock this year has given him so much more opportunity to showcase how better of a player he is this year.
Now he finds Sean Jackson, but that shot way off. Joseph Ubalde ulit.
Getting a lot of burn here in this game. Ito si Joseph Ubalde at di naman siya pinapahiya dito.
Alamat to ng, ano ba, Dubai? Basta Middle East, di ba?
Oo, panalay king siya dun. But also a crowd favorite in San Juan. The reason why he continues to hold a spot in that San Juan roster, Sean Jackson finally connects from the outside, joining in on the three-point shooting party here para sa San Juan.
Parang silang dalawa na lang ni Orlan Momor yung natira dun sa championship team nila, no? Sila ni Joseph.
Yes, oo, silang dalawa na lang.
51-22. Sean Jackson bounce pass inside. Ubalde goes for the reverse. Can't get it to go.
Ande, pati yata si Jeff Tahonera.
Oo nga pala. Tama.
Can't forget Jeff Tahonera, of course. John Formento trying to help his team get out of this hole, but they're going to have to do so much more, especially on the defensive end of the floor where San Juan has been having a field day.
Steal though by Val City. This is something they need to do more of. Cal Napes with 2 points. Nakabilisan nila yung laro nila eh. Because,
Exactly. You know, I don't know why they try to slow down the game most of the time when they have the players who are capable of finishing in the open floor. That's a tough shot made there by Joem Sabandal.
Sabandal. Solid game so far for the former Adamson Falcon. And an offensive foul again called against J.R. Ogteco.
Well, Jackson certainly showed that well.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
It's not even just being in transition itong Valenzuela, but it's also having that basketball move around quickly enough for the defense of San Juan to commit mistakes.
That shot will not go for Ron Dennison. He gets it back, same spot, same result to miss. Ubalde sa ilalim, nailabas papunta kay Sean Jackson. And San Juan has missed their last three-point attempts. That's the fourth one missed by Sabandal this time. Finally, Val City getting the rebound. Ball will stay with the Magic.
Well, Coach Alex Angeles trying to plead that it was off the foot of a Valenzuela player. However, you know, he can't anymore challenge that kasi nagamit niya na kanina and it was unsuccessful.
Kyle Napes, wala pa din. Kobe Monhe. I feel like this guy has to assert himself. Ito si Kobe Monhe.
Now, he along, I really strongly believe that John O'Malley should get more playing time and a better role offensively, as even Ron Dennison is raining down on it from the outside.
11 points already for the former FEU Tamarao, Ron Dennison. Justin Alfonso tries a free, no good. John Jackson puts it on the deck. Nilabas papunta kay Ron Dennison. He likes this matchup, posting up Justin Alfonso. Ubalde thought about it. Lalapit. That shot will not work. Sabandal gives them another possession. Goes right at Formento. Gets it back and scores. And Joim Sabandal having a field day here.
They have been outworking, outsmarting these Valenzuela Magic players in this game. Missed on the first shot, but the second effort was incredible there para kay Joem Sabandal.
Val City needs a timeout. The Knights will take on Parañaque on June 7 on the 14th against Muntinlupa. And on June 19, it will square off against Pasig City. Glad to have you with us here on a Monday afternoon. Ken Pangilinan with Javi Palanya at courtside. We have Miss Mika Abisamis. And a foul called off a timeout. Jeff Tahunera is in as well for the Knights. The remnants of the championship team, former Adamson Falcon, Toby Monje. That's a make for the former Letran Knight. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Monje only 5.5 points per contest the last 2 games. But more than that, Javi, yung field goal attempts niya kasi, only 6 field goal attempts a game in the last 2 as compared nung previous 7 games niya where he had 11 attempts per game. He needs to really look for a shot more, especially with the talent that he has.
Correct. They have been relying a lot on John Formento, obviously, to produce points para sa kanila. But there are a lot of capable players on this squad who can help them get out of the trenches. Again, this is a squad with a lot of veterans who have been here in the league for quite some time. And these guys are not just pushovers. These guys are not just supposed to be players with a reduced role. These are players who can star for their team and help them get more wins.
And I've been saying it time and time again, John Formento, that's no contest. Siya talaga yung best player nila this season. But I feel like yung highest ceiling na meron for Val City, that's probably Kobe Monje. The tools that he has, the length, the strength, the height. Senator Jinggoy looking on. Nandun, Javi.
Nandun talaga. It's not just Kobe Monje. Even the veterans like JR Ongteco. Well, JR Labanza has been having a heck of a season para sa kanila. But I feel like even JR could do even more.
Yeah. Ooh, kita mo naman si Joseph Ubalde. He got the steal, the basket, and then here, forcing the turnover.
At talagang tuwang-tuwa ang bench ng San Juan. Senator Jinggoy stand up flashing that big smile while Reynel Hugnatan pinapaypayan si Joseph Ubalde. Medyo mainit na.
Ubalde, fadeaway jumper. No good.
I feel like everybody from that San Juan bench would have jumped out of their seats if that went in.
Alfonso, teardrop off the glass and in.
So he's been raring for that opportunity to try and show what he's worth on the floor. is para dito sa Valenzuela. Ito si Justin Alfonso.
Is he from the States or Canada? Because sure.
I believe it's from the US, but
no?
yeah.
Soberano, short. Gets it back. Viloria tries a free. Still no go. Rebound finally cleared by Kobe Monhe. Alfonso. Ooh, way off.
Not a lot of legs on that shot. Although that was an open look, that was in transition, pero medyo hindi nagustuhan ni Coach Raymond Valenzuela yung tira na yun.
This lead has ballooned to 33 points, 62-29. Royce Alforque draws closer. Great setup job. Ubalde with another basket.
Wow, already 10 points in the game para kay Joseph Ubalde. You know, that's a guy who only averages 0.7 points per game and only 3 minutes of floor time. He's already up to 11 minutes in this game. That's a made shot there by Valenzuela.
That was Kobe Monhe. With that three-point shot.
It's only the second three-point shot of Valenzuela in this game. Kung ano yung nagiging swerte ng San Juan sa labas, yun naman ang nagiging malas ng Valenzuela.
Sportsmanlike foul issued on Jeff Taunera. As we check out this play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Just keeping it simple. Drive and draw. Get the attention of the defense. Look for that guy whose defender helped out, and that was Joseph Ubalde. Nice pass from Royce Alforque.
Val City, unless they turn things around, they're on their way to dropping their 6th straight game. And like we said, especially the last 4 games, they've been only averaging 63.5 points. And here, they're on pace to score even lower here. They've only put up 32 points. And we're almost done here in the 3rd quarter.
They might even just score lower than what they had against Quezon.
55 yun.
It was an unsportsmanlike foul on number 33, Jeff Taunera, for excessive hard contact.
This might be a good opportunity for Valenzuela to try and get on a run to end this 3rd quarter strong. Maybe trim the lead to around 25, 20 points entering the 4th quarter. At least, you know, this could give themselves a chance to try and at least make it competitive.
Castillo at the line. In most, bukod sa ang bagal na nga ng opensa nila, Javi, most of their offensive possessions wind up na paubos na yung shot clock, wala na silang magawa. And ang masakit pa dyan, they're forced to either make that bad pass or that long free, which ends up with a long rebound and gives an opportunity for the opponent in transition.
Exactly. That's a nice point that you made. And I don't understand why they keep going to that kind of scenario. Why they force themselves into that kind of situation? I would understand early in the game, okay, you're trying to run really through your sets and see what plays that you practiced. But especially now that they're trying to catch up, they need some quick looks and some quick makes. So there is no logic in them still going late into their shot clock at this point of the game. But it's been happening, not even in this game, but in many of their losses.
How about AC Soberano burying another free, his 5th one of the ball game. So, titingin mo sa Val City, ibang-iba yung laro ni John Umali dito eh. We rarely see him, go for those quick threes. But here is a quick free by AC for San Juan.
Cross-court pass made there by Royce Alforque, and Soberano has really been on point from the great beyond. Wow, Justin Alfonso has really been taking advantage of his time here on the floor.
Bumagana yung teardrop niya ngayong hapon. Si Justin Alfonso of Veloria. Now it's Alfonso. Gives it up. Hesalem fires. It's good.
This is the kind of game that Valenzuela needs. They need to be quick, they need to be fast, they need to make their shots, and they need to make stops.
And in the last minute and 30, they have scored 9 points. Talking about Val City.
Could be their best stretch since that good start that they had with those 6 points of John Formento in the opening minutes of the game. Imagine that, it took that long for them.
Time winding down. Soberano sets his feet and knocks down another one.
That is three-pointer number 6 for AC Soberano in this game. Check this one out. Alforque again making the nice feed. This time locating Soberano at that left corner. And if you allow him to launch, you give him that space, you'll make him square his shoulders. That's going to be a very high percentage for him to hit the shot.
Highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Formento has been limited to just 6 points after that 6-point start that he had. This guy though, Joe M. Sabadal, coming off the bench and doing almost a little bit of everything. And almost everybody has been joining in on the scoring party, whether it's inside or outside for the Knights.
The Knights with a 29-point lead over Val City heading to the fourth quarter, 70-41. Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness. And we have this first game between San Juan and Val City. AZ Soberano has torched the nets. 18 points already, 6 threes. Viloria, he tries, short. And you alluded to, Javi, how San Juan not really, at least coming to this game, a volume three-point shooting team. But today, different story as we check out the quarter scoring 18-11, 25-9, and 27-21 para dito sa San Juan.
Kasi itong San Juan, you know, they're a team that takes the shots that are given to them. They see kung ano binibigay sa kanila ng depensa and they adjust accordingly. So if the defense gives them open shot from the outside, that's what they're gonna take. But most of the time, they are more accustomed to getting higher percentage shots, and that's why they've been so successful this season.
Siyempre, kung meron ka nga namang kalisaan, Dexter Maikes, Hugnatan, you really opt for those higher percentage shots. And it's not like dahil din dalawa silang nandun, they've been doing a good job setting them up in good positions to score.
Correct, and that's why you give a lot of credit to the guards of San Juan, of course, led by Orlan Omar. Royce Alforque has come in and become a really nice addition, whether it's starting or coming off the bench. In fact, Coach Alex has mainly driven itong San Juan to get used to Orlan Omar coming off the bench.
We have a foul called on the Knights. That's on Jeff Taunera. Now, Kim Lo will choke to the line, former UST Growling Tiger. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Val City avoiding to drop their 6th straight. But things not looking pretty at the moment. Kobe Mone comes in for Kim Lo. He's joined by Hesalem, Ongteco, Napes, and Alvarez. It's a good ploy. Try to pressure the ball here. But Alforque easily breaking the press. Soberano again, that time too strong. Alvarez. Pupukol sa tres. Yes! Mr. Alvarez, his first three-point conversion.
We don't really see a lot of those kinds of shots from him anymore this season with Valenzuela, but alam naman natin na kaya-kaya ni Lester na pumukol ng mga ganong klaseng tira, but Cranial Viloria answers back with a three-pointer of his own. His three-point shooting party has not yet stopped for the Knights in this game.
Actually, nung first half against Rizal, nakita natin yun eh. Yung kay Lester Alvarez. But like you said, it's been few and far in between. Obalde all the way! Almost. Oops. What happened here? Was someone teed up? Or was there a foul? Yeah, there was someone who got teed up. Technical foul called. Not sure who though.
Might be on Royce Alforque.
Joseph Obalde for unsportsmanlike behavior.
Unsportsmanlike behavior? Bakit?
I think there was something that he did after he missed the shot. Obviously, he was very frustrated because he got the ball. He was able to get it past multiple defenders as soon as he passed the half-court line. Ang ganda ng pinakita niyang handle. Everything but the finish.
Ikaw naman si Pingol na excite lang eh. Pare ko eh.
He's just trying to get player of the game honors. Ito si Joseph Ubalde. Making a good case for it actually. If not for the 18 points of AC Soberano, he's definitely going to be a front runner. He's got 10 points and 5 rebounds already.
Alforque gets it to Tahonera. Swing pass. Soberano at the post.
Let's go, Ubalde.
Joseph off the glass. No. Almost a rebound. And it ends up with J.R. Ongteco. Catch and shoot. Lester Alvarez wala. Kyle Napes snags the rebound and scores. 27-point lead pa rin para sa San Juan. This San Juan franchise.
Oh!
Great pass and great cut.
Showing us the vision too.
Oh, and now the defense forcing that turnover on J.R. Ongteco. Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. What about that pass, Mr. Palanya?
Everybody from Valenzuela just kept ball watching on Joseph Ubalde. Just like the mean scoring machine that he is, he's drawn that attention defensively, enabling him to make that fantastic delivery. I am really thinking twice about giving that player of the game award to AC Soberano. I really want it so bad to go to Joseph Ubalde.
Tahonera having some words with J.R. Ongteco. Papaltan muna si J.R. dito.
He's always going to be a character on the floor. Ito si ito si Jeff Tahonera.
Viloria putting the moves on against Kobe Monhe. That signature pull-up shot, nothing but net. San Juan just pouring it on here on Val City.
Below the arc, breakdown dribble. Cranial Viloria, when he gives you that short shimmy and that shoulder fake, expect him to really get on rhythm to knock it down.
Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. The San Juan Knights comfortably ahead over Val City, 79-48. special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Still a good-sized crowd here at the San Andres Sports Complex in Manila. Fan of the Game is brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Guys in red, down by 31. And Kobe Monhe can hit the jumper. Kyle Napes gets fouled. They'll go to the line. Jose Ubalde called for that foul. Kyle Napes played for Davao Occidental last season. Almost a double-double here, quietly. But missing the first free throw. Long look from the coaches.
That's been a look that we've been accustomed to seeing from them these past few games. 5-game losing streak. You know, the first 2 losses that they had against Sarangani and Muntinlupa were only by 9 points. Those were after the win against Gensan. That was something that they could have built on, especially because Gensan is indeed one of the contenders in the Southern Division. They always have been these past few seasons. But after that, things just started to get worse para sa kanila after those 2 9-point losses. They lost to Imus by 18, double the amount of the loss against Sarangani and Muntinlupa, and then 25 against Rizal, and just recently, that 20-point loss to the Quezon Huskers. Joseph Ubalde, he's continuing to make his case here.
Pwede pa daw.
Well, he has 5 minutes to convince me otherwise.
Ito si AC, yung kalaban niya sa Best Player Award, magpapahinga na dito. Ubalde missing on the first though. Senator Jingo Estrada. Parang alam niya kung nasan yung camera.
Siyempre, sanay
diba?
na sanay yan sa harap ng camera si Senator Jinggoy. Alam mo naman yan, multifaceted yan.
Esalem, second free. And you've been mentioning, Javi, yung trend nitong Val City. It's really peculiar considering as we see that 3-point shot knocked down by Joem Sabandal. Yung first part ng schedule nila, Javi, mabibigat yung mga kalaban kasi nila eh. Zamboanga was their opening game. They won against Quezon City. And then, next couple, yung talo nila sa Basilan in overtime. They won against Marikina. And then, tatlong sunod-sunod na mabibigat. But during that 3-game stretch, they lost to Nueva Ecija, lost to Binyan. But that big win by Gensan Warriors, doon na tayo nag-isip na, uy, baka pwede, no, for Val City. But just right after that seemingly morale-boosting victory against Gensan, nadapa naman sila sa Sarangani who, at their expense, won their very first game. And like you said, it's been downhill ever since.
You don't see changes from them. You don't see a desire to improve. Everything's just been the same every time. And it's sad because there's so much talent on this team.
This was the no-look pass by Jan Formento to Kobe Monhe. Those two could really try something. You know, that 2-man game could really work wonders. Pero yun nga eh, parang halos wala rin tayo nakikita, like for example, pick and roll involving the two of them. That could be something that they could explore. But like we said, it's been rare, and yung opensa nga nila has been porous to say the least. Again, there's still enough time, but they've only put up 60 points, although it was much worse earlier. As Joseph Ubalde patuloy na gustong kumbinsihin si Mr. Palanya.
13 points, 7 rebounds in this game. Jan Formento, he has struggled since that nice start that he had in this game.
3:13 remaining here in the fourth quarter. San Juan poised to go back-to-back. And we saw their next 3 games. But they also have on schedule later in the month of June that big showdown kontra Pangasinan. And that should be a good one as well. That I think it's gonna be at their home floor at the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center.
That's going to be something to look forward to, especially with the history between those two franchises.
Pass per the game brought to you by Extreme X Play on-the-go speaker. Take your music anywhere. We have a timeout, 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. San Juan looking poised to their 11th victory. Jan Formento, 19 points, 11 of those coming in the second half against the Quezon Huskers. The lone bright spot for the Val City Magic. And their leading scorer, 6 games of at least 20 points this season. Tonight, 14 points. But unfortunately for the Magic, looks like they will go down to their 6th straight loss since that win back on April 9 versus Gensan. Monteco tries a free, gets it in. He's actually been shooting 40% from beyond the arc.
Yeah, it's been a good 3-point shooting season para kay J. Rongteco individually. If they had resorted to these kinds of plays early on, especially after that nice start that they had, it should have been a closer match. The story would have been so much different.
Sobrang layo kasi ito si Alforque sumama pa sa 3-point parade ng San Juan. We're down to our last 2 minutes of the ball game. No, they only scored 32 points in I think 35 minutes at 29 minutes almost, because they were at 32 points at the 1 minute and 40 mark of the third quarter. And then since then, they've put up 33 points in a span of only 11 minutes. So, kaya eh. I mean, syempre, nag-ano na rin yung depensa ng San Juan given that it's a blowout. But they have the tools, they have the personnel, and they just have to play the right way.
Playing the right way, that exactly is what I want to see more from Valenzuela in the coming games.
Minute and 14 remaining here. And syempre detriment din na wala nga si Louis Vigil. Injured pa si Jer Alabanza. But also credit to San Juan. They've played their hearts out. They played magnificently here. They've executed their game plan to a T. As we're down to a final minute. And also yung trend ng San Juan, despite that loss against Nueva Ecija, they've been averaging 24 assists per game in their last 5 games. Today, they're around that mark. Obalde, though, missing on that shot. In fact, they have 26 assists. So that bodes well moving forward for the Knights. And Mika, in her report, mentioned about, that yung mga late game blunders, especially against Nueva Ecija. When the other team makes their run, how do they respond? And those are the things that they need to clean up as they try to make another playoff push this season.
Well, they've responded nicely here this afternoon against Valenzuela. Came back from a slow start and did not look back anymore after that. They dominated from that point on until now, until the final buzzer. Spectacular performance for San Juan. They got themselves the biggest win so far of the season.
23-point win for the Knights. And check out our player of the game. Atid sa atin yan ng 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
As much as I wanted to give it to Joseph Ubalde, I could not, of course, not notice the hot three-point shooting of AC Soberano. 18 points on 6 three-point shots in this game. Soberano, another lights-out performance from downtown.
Struggled mightily to begin the season but has found his stroke. San Juan winning this one over Val City 90-67. And let's turn you over courtside to Mika Bisamis.
Maraming salamat. Congratulations, AC. Pag nadadaanan kita sa dugout o kaya sa hallway, palagi natin pinapag-usapan, hindi lumalabas yung stress ko, no? Hindi lumalabas. Pero ngayong araw na to, may 18 points ka, 6 doon ay 3. Paano ito makakadagdag sa kumpiyansa mo?
Siguro sa pinaghirapan ko naman to every practice. So siguro ngayon binigay ni God, God's favor para sa akin na ako yung maging best player ngayon. Kahit sino naman pwede maging best player sa team namin. So yun, kung sino lang yung suswerte, kung sino mainit, hahanapin at hahanapin naman. And yung trust sa akin and sa bawat isa is pare-parehas lang. So yun.
Maraming salamat. Napag-usapan mo yung team. Nakausap ko si Coach Alex kanina. Binigay niya sa akin yung point of view ng coaches sa kung paano kayo after that Nueva loss, tapos yung panalo nyo sa Bacolod ng 6 points. Yung mga players naman, sa point of view nyo, kumusta kayo pagkatapos ng mga challenging situations na yun?
Siyempre, after nung Nueva, masakit siyempre. Pero after nun, pagdating namin ng practice the other day, yun, extra agad. Nanood kami ng film ng Nueva, yung mga mali namin, so inayos namin. Yun, itong game na to, ito yung papatunay kung ano yung ano namin nung Nueva, yung kinatalo namin, ito yung lumabas. So yun, maganda naman.
Maraming salamat at sana nga tuloy-tuloy na. Meron ka ba mga gustong batiin at pasalamatan, AC?
Binabati ko si Senator Jingo Estrada, Boss Monching Talisayon, Boss James Go, Boss Dennis Abella, Go for Gold, Boss Jeremy Go, 69 Pong Bar, Abella Industries, 1914 Athletics, kay Boss Kyle Blanco, JSU Amosop, Pastor Ferdy, and mga taga-Tarlac na sumusuporta, mga San Juaneños na sumusuporta sa amin. Yun, maraming salamat. Sa mama ko, sa mga kapatid ko, sa wife ko and baby ko, hello.
Maraming salamat, AC Soberano. This play of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Get and have it.
Maraming salamat, Mika. Up next, the Davao Occidental Tigers try to arrest their 3-game losing skid going up against the 6-4 Pangasinan Heatwaves. Kaya manatiling nakasubaybay dito sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.